If you choose comfort today, you'll pay with regret tomorrow. But if you choose discipline today, your future will thank you. The question is simple. Will you do what's hard now or suffer later? Every life is shaped by choices. Not the big, dramatic ones, but the quiet decisions you make when no one is watching. Easy paths promise comfort, but they secretly charge interest. Hard choices demand effort, sacrifice, and courage, but they pay dividends for a lifetime. Today, let's talk about why choosing hard now is the key to living free later. Hard choices build strength because they force you to confront discomfort instead of running from it. Every time you choose to wake up early when your body begs for more sleep, you are doing more than adjusting your schedule. You are teaching your mind that it does not control you, you control it. That single act of resistance sends a powerful message to your brain. Comfort is optional, but commitment is not. Over time, this message reshapes how you respond to challenges, not just in the morning, but in every area of life. Discipline works the same way. When you follow through on what you said you would do, especially when motivation is low, you are strengthening an internal muscle that most people neglect. Anyone can act when they feel inspired. Very few can act when they feel tired, bored, or discouraged. That ability is what separates people who talk about change from people who create it. Discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect in action. Each disciplined choice reinforces the belief that you are capable, reliable, and in control of your direction. Pushing through resistance is where real growth begins. Resistance shows up as doubt, fear, excuses, and that quiet voice that says, "You can do it tomorrow." When you push past that voice, even in small ways, you expand your limits. You prove to yourself that discomfort is temporary, but strength is permanent. This process doesn't happen overnight. It happens through repetition. One hard choice may feel insignificant, but repeated daily, it rewires your mindset and elevates your standards. Strength is not just physical. Mental and emotional strength are forged in moments when quitting would be easier than continuing. When life applies pressure and you don't collapse, you discover a deeper level of resilience. You learn that setbacks don't define you, and difficulty doesn't defeat you. Instead, hardship becomes training. It prepares you for responsibilities, leadership, and opportunities that would crush a weaker version of you. What makes this kind of strength powerful is that it carries into everything you do. The person who trains themselves to act with discipline at the gym, at work, or in their daily habits becomes someone who can be trusted with bigger challenges. Confidence grows quietly from keeping promises to yourself. It's not loud or flashy, but it's unshakable because it's earned through effort. Strength is never gifted. It is built choice by choice, moment by moment, when no one is watching. And once you build it, no one can take it away. Hard choices may demand more from you today, but they give you something priceless in return. A version of yourself that can handle pressure, face adversity, and keep moving forward no matter how hard the road becomes. Easy choices are seductive because they promise comfort right now. They whisper that rest can come before effort, that tomorrow will be a better time, that skipping one step won't really matter. In the moment, they feel harmless, even deserved. But what makes easy choices dangerous isn't their immediate effect, it's the silent cost they carry into the future. Every time you delay what needs to be done, you trade long-term progress for short-term relief, and that trade is always unfair. Procrastination is rarely about laziness. It's about avoiding discomfort. The task feels heavy, uncertain, or challenging, so the mind looks for escape. But avoidance does not erase responsibility. It only postpones it. The work you refuse to do today waits for you tomorrow, often bigger and more intimidating than before. Over time, these delays stack up, creating pressure, stress, and a sense of being behind, even when you're busy all day. Excuses work the same way.
They protect your ego in the present by giving you a reason not to act. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start when things settle down. Each excuse feels reasonable, but together they form a habit of self-betrayal. The more often you justify inaction, the easier it becomes to lower your standards. Eventually, excuses stop sounding like lies and start feeling like truth, quietly reshaping your identity. Shortcuts are another trap. They offer faster results with less effort, but they skip the process that builds real competence and confidence. When you take shortcuts, you may arrive sooner, but you arrive weaker. Skills remain undeveloped, discipline stays shallow, and when pressure comes, there is nothing solid to rely on. The path you avoided becomes the weakness that holds you back later. What makes easy choices especially dangerous is that their consequences are delayed. Nothing breaks immediately. No alarm goes off. Life continues, which convinces you that the choice didn't matter. But time is always keeping score. Missed opportunities, unrealized potential, and unbuilt skills slowly collect interest. And one day, when you look at where you are versus where you could have been, regret arrives, not loudly, but heavily. Regret is painful because it comes with clarity. It shows you that the future you wanted was available, but it required decisions you avoided. That realization is far heavier than temporary discomfort ever was. The hardest part is knowing that most of the damage wasn't caused by failure, but by inaction. Easy choices don't destroy your future in one dramatic moment. They do it quietly through repetition. And the only way to protect your future is to recognize that discomfort is the price of growth, while comfort is the price of stagnation. What feels easy today may cost you everything tomorrow. Hard choices create self-respect because they require you to honor your word, especially when no one else is holding you accountable. Every promise you make to yourself, whether it's to wake up early, stay disciplined, or follow through on a difficult task, is a test of integrity. When you keep that promise, even in small ways, something shifts inside you. You begin to trust yourself, and self-trust is the foundation of real confidence.
Most people look for confidence in external validation, praise, approval, or recognition. But that kind of confidence is fragile because it depends on others. True confidence grows internally. It develops when your actions align with your intentions. Each time you do what you said you would do, you reinforce the belief that you are dependable. That belief doesn't need applause. It shows up in how you carry yourself, how you speak, and how you respond to pressure. Keeping promises to yourself is not easy because no one sees when you break them. There are no immediate consequences, no criticism, no public failure. But there is a quiet cost. Each broken promise weakens your self-image. Over time, it creates doubt. You begin to question your own commitment, your discipline, and your worth. Hard choices interrupt that cycle. They demand effort in moments where excuses would be easier, and that effort restores your self-respect. Consistency is where this transformation becomes powerful. One good decision feels encouraging, but repeated good decisions reshape your identity. When you show up day after day, especially on days when motivation is low, you prove that your values are not conditional. This consistency builds inner strength. You stop relying on mood or circumstance and start relying on principle. That shift alone separates people who drift through life from those who direct it. Integrity is the quiet engine behind self-respect. It means living by the same standards whether you are being watched or not. When your private actions match your public goals, you no longer feel divided. There is no guilt, no inner conflict, no sense of pretending. You become whole. That wholeness creates calm confidence, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself because it's rooted in truth. Standing taller doesn't mean feeling superior. It means feeling aligned. You walk with clarity because you know you are doing the work, facing the discomfort, and honoring your commitments. Even when progress is slow, you feel grounded because you are moving in the right direction. That feeling is priceless.
It cannot be bought, borrowed, or faked. Hard choices may challenge you daily, but they reward you with something far greater than comfort. They give you self-respect. And when you respect yourself, you no longer need to prove your worth to the world. Your actions already do. Discipline today buys freedom tomorrow, because every structured, intentional decision you make now removes a future limitation. Most people misunderstand freedom. They think it means doing whatever they want, whenever they want. In reality, that version of freedom often leads to dependence on money, on circumstances, on other people. True freedom is the ability to choose without fear, pressure, or desperation, and that kind of freedom is built through discipline. Financial stability is a clear example. Saving money, budgeting, investing, and living below your means are uncomfortable at first. They require saying no to impulse, delaying pleasure, and planning ahead when others are spending freely. In the moment, discipline feels restrictive, but over time, it creates options. It removes anxiety. It gives you the freedom to walk away from unhealthy environments, take calculated risks, and support the people you care about without panic. What once felt like sacrifice becomes security. The same principle applies to physical health. Exercise, proper nutrition, sleep, and consistency are rarely exciting. They demand effort when you're tired and restraint when temptation is strong. Skipping a workout or choosing unhealthy habits feels easier in the short term, but the cost shows up later as low energy, illness, and dependence. Discipline in health pays freedom in movement, strength, and confidence. It allows you to live actively, think clearly, and age with dignity instead of limitation. Inner peace is perhaps the most valuable freedom discipline creates. When your life lacks structure, your mind carries constant stress. Unfinished tasks, ignored responsibilities, and broken commitments create mental noise. Discipline brings order. It reduces chaos. When you handle what needs to be done, you quiet the voice of guilt and anxiety. Peace doesn't come from avoiding effort. It comes from knowing you are aligned with your values and responsibilities. What makes discipline powerful is that its rewards are delayed but lasting. Effort today does not always produce immediate comfort, but it prevents future suffering. Freedom in this sense is never accidental. It is earned quietly through daily decisions that seem small but compound over time. Each disciplined action is a deposit. Each avoided responsibility is a withdrawal. Eventually, the balance becomes undeniable. Effort is the price of independence. When you build skills, manage your time, control your habits, and face discomfort willingly, you reduce your reliance on luck and external help. You become capable. Capability is freedom. It means life doesn't easily trap you because you have the strength and structure to respond. Freedom is never free. It is prepaid by effort, sacrifice, and consistency. The discomfort you feel today is not punishment, it is an investment. And like all good investments, it rewards those who commit early, stay disciplined, and understand that the greatest freedoms are not given, but earned.
Hard choices separate leaders from followers because leadership begins with ownership. Leaders do not wait for perfect conditions, clear instructions, or someone else to go first. They take responsibility when it would be easier to point fingers. Blame may protect the ego, but it weakens the individual. Responsibility, on the other hand, is heavy, but it builds strength. The moment you stop asking who is at fault and start asking what you can do, you step into leadership. Choosing responsibility over blame requires humility. It means accepting that even when circumstances are unfair, your response still matters. Followers often explain why something couldn't be done. Leaders look for what can be done next. This mindset shift is powerful because it restores control. You may not control every event, but you always control your actions. That awareness alone separates those who feel trapped from those who move forward. Action over fear is another defining line. Fear is natural. It shows up before growth, before change, before risk. The difference is not that leaders feel less fear, it's that they refuse to let fear make decisions for them. Followers wait until fear disappears. Leaders act while fear is present. Each time you take action despite doubt, fear loses influence. Confidence grows not from certainty, but from courage in motion. Hard choices often involve discomfort, criticism, and uncertainty. Choosing the harder path may mean standing alone, delaying gratification, or risking failure. Followers avoid these moments because they threaten comfort. Leaders embrace them because they understand that growth lives there. Progress has never been built on avoidance. It is built by those willing to step forward when retreat feels safer. What's important is that leadership is not about superiority. It's not about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Rising above your former self means breaking old patterns, abandoning excuses, and raising your standards. It means refusing to let past mistakes define your future or current fear dictate your potential. When you choose responsibility, you stop waiting for permission to improve your life. When you choose action, you stop negotiating with doubt. These choices create momentum. Momentum creates influence. People naturally follow those who move with purpose, clarity, and courage, not because they demand attention, but because their actions inspire trust. Leadership is built quietly. It shows up in how you handle pressure, how you respond to failure, and how you treat challenges. Hard choices refine your character. They teach you resilience, accountability, and vision. Over time, these qualities become visible, and others begin to notice, not because you seek recognition, but because consistency is undeniable. Hard choices do not elevate you above others, they elevate you beyond limitations you once accepted, and that is the true mark of leadership, progress that begins within and radiates outward through action, responsibility, and courage. An easy life is not a lucky life, because comfort alone cannot satisfy the deeper need for meaning. Ease may remove struggle, but it also removes growth. A life without challenge often feels empty, even when it looks successful from the outside. Meaning does not come from avoiding effort, it comes from engaging fully with life, from stretching yourself towards something that matters. A meaningful life is earned through intention, commitment, and the willingness to face difficulty for a greater purpose. Choosing purpose over pleasure is the first step toward that kind of life. Pleasure is immediate and fleeting. It fades quickly and demands more the next time. Purpose, on the other hand, gives direction. It connects your daily actions to something larger than momentary comfort. When you choose purpose, you are willing to endure discomfort because you understand why it matters. Long nights, early mornings, and repeated effort become worthwhile when they serve a clear mission. Vision over comfort is another defining choice. Comfort keeps you where you are. Vision pulls you forward. A life guided by vision requires patience and faith. You often work without guarantees, progress without applause, and push forward without certainty. Comfort asks you to stay safe. Vision asks you to grow. Those who choose vision accept temporary instability in exchange for long-term fulfillment. They understand that the future they want cannot be built from the habits that keep them comfortable today. Courage over convenience is where meaning is truly forged. Convenience avoids risk. It chooses what is easiest, quickest, and least demanding. Courage steps into uncertainty. It speaks when silence is easier. It tries when failure is possible. Courage does not promise success, but it guarantees growth. Each courageous choice expands your capacity, teaching you that fear does not define you, your actions do. A meaningful life demands effort because effort gives weight to experience. Achievements feel hollow when they are unearned, but when something costs you time, energy, and sacrifice, it becomes valuable. You respect it, you protect it.
Meaning is born from investment. The more of yourself you put into something worthwhile, the deeper its significance becomes. Luck may open doors, but meaning walks through them deliberately. It is built through consistency, values, and resilience. It grows when you stop asking what is easiest and start asking what is right. It deepens when you align your choices with who you want to become, not just how you want to feel in the moment. An easy life may look attractive, but it rarely leaves a lasting impact. A meaningful life leaves a mark on your character, on the people around you, and on the legacy you create. And that kind of life is never given. It is earned, choice by choice, through purpose, vision, and courage. So don't ask for an easy road. Ask for the strength to walk the hard one. Because when you choose hard choices today, you don't just create an easy life tomorrow, you create a life worth respecting.